Shrimati Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Golanda. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Golanda, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Golanda, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Golanda. Radha Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda. Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sadeva Bhakta Vrinda. Radha Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sadeva Bhakta Vrinda. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, 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 Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Madana Mohana. Madana Mohana. Mohana. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. 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 Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. 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 Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine. Gora Karuna Sarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya Te. Harbo Namaste. So the subject matter that we'll be discussing is the continuation about the glories of the holy names. So in one of the prayers of Lord Chaitanya, the second prayer, Lord Chaitanya's prayer, O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction upon the living beings. And therefore, you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna, Govinda, etc. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies, and there is no hard and fast rules in chanting these holy names. O my Lord, you have kindly made approach to you easy by your holy names, but unfortunate as I am, I have no attraction for them. So in one of the instruction of Rupa Goswami, the ninth process of devotional service is connected with these teachings of Lord Chaitanya, the chanting of his glories. For so long we have been conditioned in this world, and For us, the chanting of the holy names, the glories of the Supreme Person, our mind has become so immersed and focused upon this temporary world. Our heart has become so hard, and we are not able to see and connect ourselves with the pleasure of the Supreme Person, His desire that we love Him, serve Him. So the glories of the holy names, the chanting of the holy names, we can just see how when the Vaishnava came in contact with Lord Krishna through his confidential friend and given instructions how he or she can be elevated on a transcendental plane and connected with the world of eternality that is not touched by this miserable world and experience a connection with the source of joy and happiness that is eternal. So the glories of the holy names, we can see the lives of the devotees. For example, the life of the cobbler who met Narada Muni. His faith is so fixed. His heart is focused, his mind in loving remembrance of the Supreme Person. The analogy given, material analogy, that the sun is the purifier. It gives clarity, it purifies. So when we come in contact with God through His holy names, which is none different from Him, we become purified from this misgiving, ignorance, and not only that, we experience a connection with our whole being, with our life, our focus, our joy, our happiness in connection with remembering Him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Through associating, hearing the glories of the Supreme Person, we can experience the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, how He took care, how He loves His devotees, how He protects them. So when the devotee, Bali Maharaj, was asked to give 3 steps of his kingdom, he was advised by Sukracharya that be careful because the person in front of you is none other than the Supreme Person. This Brahmana, young Brahmana, is none other than the Supreme Person who will take away everything that you have. Be careful. Don't listen to him. But because the meditation, the focus of Bali Maharaj's life is simply in meditation of pleasing the Supreme Person. So since He gave His word that He's willing to give 3 steps of His kingdom, being with wisdom, when Sukra Acharya told him, be careful, everything that you'll have will be taken away by this young boy Brahmana, who is none other than Lord Krishna. He said, no big deal. Why will I worry about all the things that eventually will be taken away from me? Why not give it up? And the truthfulness, the commitment, he stood by it, his truthfulness, his surrender, that even though the treasurer of heaven, Kubera, when Lord Brahmana, he begins to take the first step, and it touched the middle planetary system, and the second step touched the heavenly planetary system. And then he asks, because that's the highest in this material universe, he said, where will I put the third step? And Bali Maharaj said, you can put your third step on my head, my dear Lord. One quality that we can appreciate is his truthfulness in relationship with his love and commitment with the Supreme Person, pleasing the Supreme Person. So we can see that when we look at ourselves, how we fall far short from being truthful, from being faithful, from being surrendered. Why is that? Because we've been so contaminated that our love, our life has been covered by this material disease, this material consideration, the influence of the 3 modes of material nature, and the desire in our mind. So we can see what separates us from this world of devotion in relating with the Supreme Person. Every time we hear the glories of the Supreme Person, the holy names, we can always remember the kindness, the friendship, the caring, the love that our eternal friend, Govinda, our eternal master, Gopinath, Shama Sundar, Lord Krishna, it enlivens the heart. It gives us shelter. It gives us confidence. And when we feel in our heart this belongingness, I belong to you, my Lord. I will embrace you with my life. This is achieved through hearing and chanting the holy names of God. That is one of the process that is being given to us by Rupa Goswami, so we can be of focus, we can experience this joy of doing the will of God. that it transcends this material conditioning of the mind, because at that time, the mind will be curved into a direction that is transcendental, because the mind begins to be connected with the holy names of God. It purifies the mind. The mind becomes controlled. But the mind becomes tamed. And we experience higher taste. And what is that higher taste? To experience the pleasure of doing the will of God. To experience this comfort of the heart, of this shelter, of belongingness, comforted by the embrace of Lord Krishna through the guidance of Rupa Goswami, the instructing spiritual master, and our spiritual master who initiates us, who gives us the Maha Mantra to chant every day, to be connected with Lord Krishna's desire and will. So the more we focus upon those instructions and the personal instruction given by our initiating spiritual master, guided by the Lord within the heart, following the instruction of the instructing spiritual master, the confidential loving servant of the Supreme Person, enhancing our knowledge, our wisdom. If we have wisdom, we can achieve that when our mind has become purified from this misconception and misgiving. We have achieved this realization through the process of the purificatory chanting of the holy names of God, the Supreme Purifier. We come to understand our true essence. I'm transcendental. Aham Brahmasmi. I begin to live the life of rendering loving service to the Supreme Person, guided by our instructing spiritual master, under the care of our initiating spiritual master, who is the dearmost loving servant of God, who wants us to achieve success. And what is that success? To be sheltered and protected eternally, to be reinstated in the world of loving devotional service in relationship to pleasing and doing the will of God. So when we remember the pastimes of the devotees, for example, Mrigari, when he met Narada Muni, his life is a world of giving pain to others. But through coming in contact with Narada Muni and listen and faithfully follow this instruction, his worries about survival, how we can survive if we will not hunt, because that is his livelihood. And Narada Muni told him, just follow my instruction and everything will be taken care of. So when he went home and began to chant the holy names and stop this brutality of this heinous hunting of giving pain to the living entities, the glories of the Supreme Person, the holy names, which he followed, became known to the community that this hunter is now a new person. He had a change of heart. He has become a Vaishnava, a devotee, a saintly person. And they come wanting to associate with him because of his following the instruction of Narada Muni. And they come, and it's a cultural system that when you go visit a saintly person, you bring gifts. And the food that they're giving is so much that he just takes what is needed and he distributes it as prasadam to all those who comes in contact with him. So before, there's this question, what should we do first? Economic development before engaging in godly activities? That is the philosophy of the communists. No. Spiritual life comes first, and material life will just follow. Material sustenance will just follow. But first, spiritual life activities in devotional service, surrender to God, loving service, should be first practiced and applied in one's life, and everything will follow. Just like the example of Mrigari, the example of the life's example of Bali Maharaj, that when Kubera wanted to give him back his kingdom, his only prayer is, I just want to be engaged in devotional, loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. That's all. To be in that consciousness, to be in that stage. And if you study his life, what happened was he was given so much by Lord Krishna that even the wealth, the glories of the King of Heaven becomes insignificant from what material opulence he achieved. But first, spiritual life first. Years back, when we were initiated by our Gurudev to go out and teach and pass on the mantra meditation, the holy names of God, years back, because we are in a world where everyone is so conditioned with material consciousness, it's all about them. So what process should we apply so they can be guided? It is God Himself that will purify their heart, will touch their heart. Lord Krishna is the supreme person, the cause of all causes. He's the source of joy and happiness. He is the provider, not only material things for our upkeep of this body, but He provides us with this experience of the joy of loving reciprocation. That when we focus upon following His desire to love Him, to serve Him, He enhances it. So my friend asked a question to my spiritual master. He said, it's so hard. People don't appreciate the teaching that so only few would want to chant to solve the problems of life. It seems that he's facing a brick wall. Nobody seems to appreciate the process. And he tells that to our spiritual master. Then our spiritual master tells him, then what should we do? We're gonna teach him there the body? spiritual life, this process, this mercy can be achieved through the mercy of the Supreme Person. He's the Supreme Purifier. So when the living entity makes effort to follow his instruction, to be guided, the Supreme Person helps that individual. He embraces that individual and helps him progress. The Lord within the heart guides him to make decision that is conducive to foster, to strengthen his affection for the Supreme Person. So the holy names is the all in all. It is the Supreme Purifier. But in the beginning, we have no attraction. But the more we come in contact through hearing and chanting the holy names, our heart becomes purified. Because in this age of quarrel and confusion, the process that is very simple, that can be practiced by anyone, is the chanting of the holy names. It will be the beginning. It is the end itself. It is complete because it's the Supreme Person. All the pastimes of the Supreme Person, the personality of Godhead, is the holy names. The personality of the spiritual master is included in the holy names. It's all in all. So when we chant the holy names of Lord Krishna, we enter the world of God's love and compassion and care and protection, as what we can see through the lives of those who have succeeded, who have followed the instruction of Narada Muni, of Haridas Thakur, of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, of Lord Nityananda, Jagayan Madai. All of them succeeded. So all what we have to do is have this faith, this perseverance, because it's not through our effort to ascend to God, but rather when we give our life, our heart in surrender. Please protect me. I am lost. I am sinful. I am insignificant. I'm not qualified. But you want me to be close with you. And I beg you to please take care of me. Without you, there is no life. There is no reason to carry on with this struggle. So, the glories of the holy names will be the strength of our love, our affection, which when we chant every day and glorify the Supreme Person, by following Him, our love for Him, our affection will become stronger and stronger, and our enthusiasm to chant will become strengthened, and we begin to enter the world naturally, that our senses, our mind, our focus will be like the river, the water that goes to the ocean. It becomes natural. Because at the time we make this choice, at the time we appreciate and take advantage to carry on this great boon, transcendental boon, God's mercy, God's connection, By glorifying Him, then we are sheltered. Haribol Namaste.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Sarupaya, Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Sarupaya, Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana.
Adi Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sadhe Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Aja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gauranga Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Hari Om Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Om Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Hari Om Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Hari Om Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Om Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Om Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Hari Om Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Om Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Om Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Hari Om Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Om
Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.